You're funky, you're monkey, you're groove, you do. You injure, you're retard, you do. Let's do. You get saved every day, never once up your mouth. You just spin your line of chin. Wang it, ha ha! You get saved every day, never once up your mouth. You just spin your line of chin. You suck! You're funky, you're monkey, you're groove, you do. You injure, you're retard, you do. Let's do. You get saved every day, never once up your mouth. You just spin your line of chin. Fuck some. You get saved every day, never once up your mouth. You just spin your line of chin.
Welcome, bros, to the new Millennium podcast. I am, of course, your host, Brian Millman, and today we have a very special guest, Laysha Turkey Leg, bro. I was sitting in the performance center with her, and we actually had a pretty good conversation. Great head on her shoulders, bro, as one would expect. Of course, daughter of Miss Martha and Ernest Turkey Leg. Most people know him here as Justin, and of course, she's Justin Jr.'s sister. But yeah, I mean, like she's a really cool girl. She's coming up here in XTV, and she's got a future. There's been talks about her, and it's like, once people start to buzz, like once people start to buzz about you, like that's when you're on your way. I remember like just a few months ago they were talking about Raylan in that way, like all these different ideas, and now just names get thrown. I mean, it's names all the time that are getting thrown around, like so many different people, and we talk about a lot of different things. Like, I think you're going to enjoy this interview because it talks a whole lot about like character developing. Laysha's a star who's been in XTV for quite some time. Like, she's probably been here over 10 years, but she's a star that never got, I should say a character that never got really developed. Like, she never really, they never looked into her because she started out at such a young age. And when people like say recently, Tavari Howard and Yosi, like when they had twins, and of course they had TJ. Well, those kids, they didn't necessarily have to develop because they were just kids. There was no platform to use them until now, and now Tavari has had the bright idea to use his show as a platform to give his kids sort of a rub, so that later on, once they're a little bit older, maybe like who knows, maybe 4 years or so from now, they'll be doing major things in XTV, and you would be able to go back in history and see them as children on his show. So that's sort of like, kind of how Laysha is, even though she didn't have a show to establish herself. She's Justin and Martha's kid. And, I think we talk about that, like, about the fact that she doesn't have to be, she doesn't have to get herself over, because the fact that she's their kid, sort of gives her a name, and so now she could stand on top of that platform and cultivate, whatever type of personality she wants to form out of that, which is really cool. Lots of very insightful and interesting things we talked to. Just being there at the PC is really inspirational, bro. Like, I can't stress enough like what an incredible time in XTV this truly is. It's really awesome. And another thing that's really dynamic about XTV. I don't think I got to talk about it with Laysha, but like the fact that certain characters like myself, but like there's characters in XTV that are formed from many backgrounds. Maybe we touched on this, but it's a point that I want to make. Because now we're in front of an audience, there's like real people listening to XTV podcasts besides, the East Coast and the West Coast. And here in XTV, people, some people are being themselves, and some people are playing characters. Some people that's how they are, and some people are just doing things. So me for example, like I'm New Millennium. I'm Brian Millman. I'm just a bro, guys. I do my podcast. I'm just doing my thing, but I try to make it where like on the TV show, like recently on Twitch. I've been doing like the New Millennium show, and I've like yeah, like sort of like Chris Jericho highlight reel or something like that. I thought it would be creative because you can call somebody out, so I thought that that would be like a cool way of like having a interview segment, between two people, and then you can just ad lib the words and just if you can't think of something, if you go off script, or if you can't think of something, that there's some words down there that kind of help guide you. Use it as like training wheels or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I refer to it. Sometimes I like to go. I'm roaring, bro. I think no, I'm raring, bro. I'm raring because that's an option that they that's an option that they give you. But the point that I'm making is the fact that um, it's never any kind of hard feelings out there, bro. I just want to put it out there to J and W Boss that I said something when I was in the ring with Killer and I was interviewing him, and I'm not sure what I said, but you just get into those moments, and I was healing, bro. Bro, I was being a heel, because like I want to establish that in the ring I'm a heel, but we're just kayfabing out there. So that's just like a character that I'm doing on the show anytime I'm in the ring or anytime XTV is live or doing something like that. But when it comes to the podcast, we're good, bro. We're good. I just wanted to let you know that. So if you ever wanted to be a guest here, the door is open. And that goes, and to be honest, that goes for the Killer too, bro. The Killer is actually my friend, even though he was burying me, and I'm trying to, freaking be on his side. But but that's his character, and like he does that for the entertainment, and he goes too far. Like sometimes, he goes over the line. Whether he did or didn't. I'm not sure if that came across that way with some of the things that he has said, but like we get into character and we just say things, but it's not meant to be taken like it's something like something serious or personal, or we're holding these deep dark feelings inside, and this is no, it's nothing like that. We're just acting, and we just try to make it real, bro. We just try to bring emotion out, and try to make people feel something, and get engaged. So whether it's like whether it's love or hate, we'll take it because it's really emotional, and it's engaging, and it creates real conversation, and it creates real things, and it's all in good fun as long as it doesn't get out of line, bro. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just prefacing anything from here on out that is said with that statement. We're just having a good time here on the New Millennium podcast, and the more you stay tuned into XTV, the more you realize just the psychology and the mindset behind the things that take place. XTV, anytime it's live, it's a wild ride. XTV is a very, very wild place with extreme personalities, but nobody on XTV has any problem with anybody who comes in and shows love and support to the show. So with that being said, I'm going to take you now to the Performance Center with Laysha Turkey Leg. So here we are, bro, at the XTV Performance Center. I'm sitting here with Laysha Turkey Leg. Yeah. So if there's any crazy sound going on in the background, you know why. Yeah, it's crazy here. I'm actually getting ready to go to class, and I'm kind of just like in between time right now. So yeah. It's interesting. Like because you come from, of course, the Turkey Leg family, and you're like the last star of XTV to, or the last star of that family to sort of, get any exposure. And, that can be tough. I mean, being the last one, like, behind everybody else, like, I mean, you have Justin, and like just his impression alone on XTV is just so ginormous. He's such a big character. And then that gets followed up with like Miss Martha, I guess one would say. And she's like, she is a big character in her own right. And then you have Justin Jr., who's an in-ring character. And then here you are, like everybody knows that you're Justin's sister, and things like that. Justin Jr.'s sister, I'm saying. Right. But it's like he came out first. Um, like my dad, I think my dad always wanted it to be like that because, like, if you remember, like when we were kids, like he would always say stuff like, "Yeah, Laysha's smarter," and just like I don't know, just like he would always just like put me over Justin to make Justin feel like or seem like he was, not that good. But like truthfully, like they always had a really good relationship and they always had fun together, and like just like that's I don't know, like I don't really know how to explain like our family. It's just weird, like it's just so open, like there's not a real, I don't know, like everything is just out on the table, you know what I'm saying? We don't keep stuff from each other. We just come out and say it. And I think the vibe is really most of the time it's just like joking, you know what I'm saying? But like you just like you kind of just take everything with a grain of salt, and I don't feel like inferior to the fact that all of them had came out before me or nothing like that. Like, I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like, that's the way it is. It's like it's the process, and I'm not like trying to like get over or nothing like that. I mean, I'm just another character, just like everybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, I'm gonna like be doing like more and more stuff, but I like when stuff happens organically. Like, I'm proud of Justin Jr. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of him because, like, he's done his thing on his own way, and like you see what he's gotten out of it, and like, this is the next generation. I'm happy to be used. I don't really know. It's like what's cool about me is that I feel like I'm allowed to just say what I want and do what I want just because I'm Justin's kid, and like that's the thing about it. It's like when you're another star, like if I was, I don't know, like somebody else's like daughter, like I don't know, somebody who was just a character, like then I could have like a gimmick and I could do all this and all that, but coming from Justin's lineage, like my dad's lineage, I have to be as raw and real as like everybody in the family. Like the same thing with my mom. Like my mom has to like stay true. Like she can't like go off script, Like, I mean, she probably could. I mean, I don't know. Mom's different because like she does whatever she wants, really. She's so sweet, and she's just got like she's got her niche in the game. But it's like with Justin, like the thing, like Justin Jr. I'm trying to say, I call him Justin, but with him, it's like he just does his like every if what he says on NXTV is not authentic, if it doesn't feel real, if it feels like he's trying to play a character, then like he's gonna immediately hear about it. You know what I mean? And it's like he's kind of made it past that level. He's made it past the level that I'm at. I'm at that level right now where like it matters what I say. Like if I say something that's, I don't know, like it's a level that you have to go through. Like that's what we're talking about today in class. Like in XTV, like it's a level that you have to go through. Like you have to go through like this opening phase of people establishing who you are. It's like they have to establish who you are and what you're about. And so like that's like your initial way of like engaging with the audience. and whatever that may be. Like with me, it was like my dad. Like my dad pretty much put me and Justin out there. Like it's like, oh, those are Justin's kids. You know what I'm saying? And so we didn't have to speak up for ourselves because Justin did it for us. My dad did it for us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but with some people, like in NXTV, like like in my class, there's like members of the class that they have to go out there on NXTV, and that's not hard either. Like because NXTV is a platform, so if they see you on the show, they're like, okay, that's who that is. Like if they're making their debut, they're like, okay, this is who that is. However they do it, like they get a promo package, or if they just come out on TV, you just see them. You know what I mean? Like it's that stage. But then you get to the stage where like you get to the stage after that is like, okay, once people know who you are, then it's like, how do you come across? What's your personality? What do you bring to the table? Like how are you different from everybody else? And a lot of people get stuck right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I am. Like, I don't feel like I'm stuck, but I just have to. I have to be able to like I want to be a host. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that I want to do. Like I want to be known as hosting. Like NXTV, like we pick a gimmick, right? Like you like it's like I don't know. It's like I can't just be Justin's daughter. I have to be Justin's daughter who does something. Like that's why Justin Jr. is on NXTV. That's why my mom was like the commissioner. That's why she does like big kind of corporate kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because she represents that. And as far as me, like I want to be like a host. Like I want to be like on like The Real. Like I want to be on like a panel like that. Like or known for that kind of stuff. Like not right now, but like in the future, like you'll be seeing me on that type of stuff. Because I mean, everything gets ribbed. Like that's just basically what it is. It's a rib on everything. That's what the world of XTV is. It's a mirror of like real life, but it's us doing it our way. And it's like, that's why it makes it funny, because it's like, look, Justin's daughter became one of those people who are on like, one of those type of shows. And that's what makes it funny. So like when the idea, like once an idea like that gets pitched, people die laughing, because it's like, it's like, of course that's what we would do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. One of the things that came up, that I heard people talk, I think Bob was talking about it with Laysha, because he's a big fan of you and what you're doing, here behind the scenes in XTV, and he was just saying that, he thinks that you're going to get over, to a high level. I mean, because you've already got those different ideas of things that you want to do. Creating your own platforms and having platforms with others. I can already see you sitting next to like maybe Yosi and Ada and like maybe one other person, like maybe Naomi or Dominique, or what's the girl name, Jalissa. Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like, if you all were like, doing that type of show or talking about the latest in XTV or whatever the case may be. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, well, I was going to say that, because your voice is like, a whole lot like Jackie Briggs's voice, which is like something that, it would cause the issue of like, okay, how do you distinguish one from the other? Because most of XTV is audio, well, I mean, it has been. It's not being like that now. I mean, they're starting to animate more things, but a lot of XTV is pretty much just audio. Yeah, I know. Like, so I also do voice training class, and like that's something that I work on. Like I try to be conscious of it, because hold on, Jackie. Oh look, bro, it's Jackie Briggs. Yeah, we work together a lot because of that problem. What's up? See, we're voice twins. But yeah. So tell them about what we were doing though earlier. It's so stupid. So we were just going. we were just sitting like in the recording room like for like an hour or whatever, and we were just saying our name like and just listening to the pitches. So yeah, so like it's like I'm going, I'm Laysha, and I'm like, I'm Jackie. It's like, I'm Laysha, I'm Jackie. I'm Laysha, I'm Jackie. I'm Laysha, I'm Jackie. And yeah, so and so the point of that is like is the to match both of them and to because it's like if she goes high and then like I go like sort of high, but if she goes low, it's like we're just not supposed to overlap basically. Like our opposites is not supposed to overlap. So I have to like stay down here and she's like up there. Yeah, so like I'm like here is like because I'm more like an announcer, so like I'm higher pitch. Yeah, but I mean it's still and then like they still put the effect on my voice. So like we were talking about that too, and because like she's in the royal family, she's not gonna have no shade, no shade, but not taken. I understand. That's how it is. Like I mean everybody just kind of gets it though. It's like we're just under that we're under that much more pressure. All right, I got to get going though. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, bro. Peace. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that real quick. Yeah, Jackie just happened to be over there, so I can show y'all. But that's the deal, though. It's like I have to be like a higher pitch. Like I have to be like up here, cause um, yeah, and I have to be more squeaky too. Hold on, let me tweak. I'm like this. I'm Laysha. So yeah. Yeah, but that's a part of the character developing. Like that's sort of the stuff that we do here at the PC. The sort of the behind the scenes stuff. That it's like kind of just repetition, really. For lack of a better term. Um, and yeah, it's just that like because you have to stand out and like that's just like we look at a lot of tapes, you know what I'm saying, like, and we go back to like the early days of XTV World, and we watch channel TXG, like a lot of old stuff, and we see like people develop, and like it's crazy when you see like Josie, like she developed like crazy like over the years, like she just like over the years, like, and a lot of people, not just her, but like she's just one person that her voice just changed so much over the years, and it's crazy when you see people sort of like evolve, and like with my brother, like he changed his voice on purpose. It was like a dramatic change. Like he went from talking one way he went from being like just okay, that's Justin Jr. and like probably like a little 10-year-old to being all right, now I'm 15, like that, like you know what I'm saying. And so like if you go back and listen to when he was on 2GN in like 2016, like that's like before NXTV started and before like he really was able to figure out who he was, because like so much was dependent on getting 2K17, and like that's how stars was just able to become themselves. But anyways, I'm doing it again. I'm being long. No, it's great, bro. But yeah, I mean, like that's just what we're doing here, though. Like, we're figuring out our voices, and like, yeah, it's just like your voice changes over the years. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I like that you're putting it in perspective. I mean, because it's something that stars like us go through. Like you're the type of star of XTV that I like to have on this show. Like very just unique people, not necessarily the big mega stars who you just know can cut a promo at the drop of a hat, but people who are learning and are figuring this thing out. I mean, I feel like I'm a lifetime student of this. I feel like I'm in a place where I've never I haven't joined that elite class, and the intentions were for me to be a part of that class, but I'm still like in that sort of upper mid card, sort of place, which I'm absolutely fine with, bro, because I feel like the more I establish myself on the game and the more I put myself out there, the more I'll get there. I just feel like the key to being a big star in XTV is you just have to do stuff. It's like what you were just saying. It's like, you want to, be a host for different things, and you just have an idea of what you want to be doing in your future. Yeah. And so, like, and I feel like as long as you know that, bro, as long as you know, like, who your character is and where you want to go, what you want to be, um, the sky's the limit, bro. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and then, too, it's like creating a platform because, like, now that you and my dad and just everybody has a podcast, like, you have to do more work to stand out. Like you said, like, because y'all have the audio game sold up. It's like, how many audio podcasts are you gonna have? And so it's like with me, and plus I'm on the game. Like, I have a character and everything. So, like, I mean, that's the advantage that I do have. But it's like also figuring out what to do that you haven't done yet, like that, or that hasn't been done yet in XTV. That's why I was like mentioning that, and like, like I was talking about that with like some of my classmates, and they thought that it was a cool idea, to just like have like a panel kind of show, like, again, not soon, like not right now, but like later down the line, once XTV gets more established, once it gets more wide, then it's like, I'll just have my little sort of little area of it. You know what I'm saying? Right, bro.
Come on now. Come on, let the music get you moving. Let 'em see that you're not losing. The clock is getting late now. Get your clothes and fix your face. Come on now. Come on now. It's getting late and we better go. Come on now. Come on now while we still got time. Come on, baby, the sun is shining. Yes, you couldn't stop your whining. Oh, baby, oh, it's alright. So come on now. Come on now. It's getting late and we better go. Getting late and we better go. Come on now. Come on now, honey, let me see just how much you mean to me. I'm not waiting all night long. You told me so very that's all wrong. Come on now. It's getting late and we better go. Getting late and we better go.
Well, one thing I was going to mention was like the fact that like, again, with Jackie Briggs, because like I work with her so much, and it's like with her, since she's not an XTV original, then that's why it's okay for her to have like an effect on her voice. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, like, like, it's like watching cartoons. Like, I think that like the people that that are the main people in XTV, the head guys, like the ones that you see all the time, I think sometimes they forget that this is an entertainment platform because it's just real to them, you know what I'm saying? But they forget that, like, it's a platform of entertainment, and so and that's how people are gonna perceive it, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're watching it on TV. So, like, you kind of got to look at it like if you're watching like Adult Swim or something like that. You know what I mean? And I don't think that they see it that way. They see it like it's a real thing, and like they're just so meticulous about a lot of minor things that aren't necessarily that important. I mean, but at the same time, like, I do understand attention to detail is very important. But with that being said, like, you just gotta work smart. I don't know, man. It's hard to give an example. It's like, well, here's one example. Like, they were talking about like Tavari's show. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, Howard's Life. Yeah, bro. And it's like, this is the first season. these are the first episodes, and there was criticism about like guys being too stiff, and things being like things not moving at a fast enough pace. So like one thing they want to have is like every few seconds like something new is happening, like something's moving. You can't have like a still shot of one scene, like you know what I mean, like or one frame. Like you can't have that happen for too long. And there was criticism about Yaki going on too long, about like his story or whatever. Like there was like he took 4 minutes out of the whole show and things like that. And I'm just like, and they were just talking about like some of the animation and like they're too stiff and they're not moving and they're not doing nothing and it doesn't make sense. But like, I think they're looking at it like that because they're the ones that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you just take yourself out of it, and like, if you just like think about all the various different forms of animation, like what they're doing is completely fine, especially for right now. Like I said, it's the first season, so like it's just fine. Like it doesn't matter if you have to use effects on people's voice to make them distinctive, because like there's not enough people to distinctify voices. You know what I'm saying? And like just stuff like that, like just like the visuals and stuff. I mean, the fact that we're working with what we have, I think, and doing this, like, and doing what we do with it, I think that is mind-blowing enough. Especially, like, once we start to, show some of the behind-the-scenes things, like how these shows are put together and things like that, and people actually see, I think that's really going to be something spectacular, because, like, we're always talking about that. We're always just talking about different things, like just to how to just open people up to the world of XTV, and for them to understand more of what's happening. Because again, a person can just come and see something like because we share a lot of stuff too. We're promoting stuff like that, and like so when we do that, and people like things are questioned. Like it was a comment made on Facebook because Nicki Minaj versus Josie, their Iron Man match had took place, and it was being promoted, and then somebody was just like, Nicki Minaj? And I'm like, yep, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be like the fight of the century or something like that. And then they're like, all right, send me the link or whatever. But at first they were just like, they questioned it because they were just like, I don't get it. And that's not the first time that's came up about Nicki. But I think that over time people are going to start to get that, like, we're going to start to tell like more of the behind the scenes and like why stuff came up. Like we're filming a documentary, you know what I mean? Like like that's in the works. Like a lot of stuff is going on here at the PC, like a lot of different projects, a lot of moving parts. Yeah, I can see, bro. I mean, it's not just, NXTV wrestling. Like, I mean, XTV has really taken the concept of what WWE is doing, and what's really cool about that is that it's always been that way. Like the reason XTV exists is because WWE exists. Like WWE is the blueprint of how XTV does its thing. And it's just this twist that's put on it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mean, I'll go back to it again. Like they just told me, Millenium, you're gonna be, Y2J and RVD, and it's just like, yeah, bro. I have to make this work, and you have to make your gimmick work, Laysha. But I feel like you're equipped to do so because you're not being something else. Like your gimmick wasn't, you come from this, and I think that's another unique aspect about XTV. The fact that you're just a completely 100% authentic and original character that came from 100% authentic and original character. Well, my dad came from my dad came from like a bunch of stuff. Like he was like the Nutty Professor, because when my dad came into XTV, he like that's when that movie came out, the Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor, not the original one, but um, yeah. So like he was just like the Nutty Professor, and that's where he got his voice and his antics from. And over time he evolved. Like he became like a mix between. He told me this. He was like he became a mix between like the Nutty Professor and John Witherspoon, and just like over years, like he just started to just develop his own self and just say different stuff and do different things and develop his own antics. And I think and like yeah, so like that's just like that's what the benefit is of it just being an all original character. You know what I mean? And I think that the reason they give, the reason they give people like sort of gimmicks is because like I don't know. I guess sometimes it's just like out of necessity. Like sometimes they just need a character and they just need a gimmick, so they just throw something on somebody and see what sticks. And yeah, I guess that's just what happens. Yeah, I mean, I think it just sort of depends on what background you come from. And then again, the times, it's so many aspects of like why characters get the gimmicks that they get, and who they are, and to me it's really fascinating, nowadays just to see how it's evolved to like people here in XTV. We're talking about people retiring. Like all these people are, coming up and wanting to retire because they've been in XTV for so long. And then, people like you who are just starting this thing, in this, performance center, and just like, it's just like, wow. I mean, is this thing really happening? It's so exciting, bro. Yeah, it is. And like I didn't even think that I never thought it would be like this. I never thought it would be like this. Like I never thought that I would be a character. I always thought I was gonna be, like I was obviously always a character, but I didn't think that I would be like like somebody. Like I didn't think I would be a special guest on somebody's show. You know what I'm saying? Like or nothing like that. Like I wasn't expecting that. Like I just thought I was gonna be Justin's daughter. And Justin Jr. was going to be his son. But when Justin Jr. like, started to wrestle, then they were like, well, Laysha has to do something. So they just made me a ring announcer. You know what I mean? And how's that been for you? Like, because they have JoJo, they have Trishelle, and they have you, sort of as like their announcer, sort of backstage sort of gimmicks. But like, I feel like they don't really have you as much. You're sort of like a fill-in. Yeah, I come in anytime JoJo doesn't show up, or like JoJo will be there, but like sometimes there's cutscenes where JoJo is just not in it. I don't know why. Like she'll a big match will be introduced, but JoJo's not being shown. So if they don't show JoJo, then I'll do the voiceover. And if they show JoJo, well, she's obviously doing it. So yeah, that's just what it is. And then so as far as Trishelle, like she's their girl. She's the one they're gonna roll with, and like it was a debate at one time, like whether or not I should be, kind of the host, and then but it's like nah, they just went with her. And yeah, so they didn't really know what to do with me, and so that's why I just got to thinking outside of the box, like, well, maybe NXTV is not for me, because NXTV is kind of becoming like a little bit oversaturated. Like everybody's trying to get in it, everybody's trying to be a part of it, and yeah, and just like have a shot, and it's like damn, like even for announcers, like it's like like there's like some guys that want to be like announcers in NXTV, and I don't know, it's set like because they already have stuff set, like where they're going and stuff, and so people can't come in. You know what I mean? It's already sold up. Like they got like their next like 6 to 8 months booked, and it's like wow. there's no room for anybody right now. It's like you have to get on a damn waiting list. Yeah, it's crazy. Unbelievable, bro. I can't believe like just the way like I mean you and Justin have grown up like I mean and it's like you said, bro. I mean you said that you never thought that it would be like this, that you would be like a a character here in XTV, and it is pretty amazing, knowing what you guys came from. I mean, I want to put up that picture if I can find it. I'm gonna put it up as the as like the still frame. It's like Justin, and I think he's got you on his lap, and Justin Jr. like got his hand out, holding, asking for something, and like Justin's like got the biggest smile on his face. I know what picture you're talking about. He's got the biggest smile on his face, and then yeah, and he's just holding you in his lap, and he's just completely ignoring Justin Jr. Yeah, those pictures never used to get completed. Like they would just draw pictures. Like they got a picture of me screaming my lungs out at Justin Jr. Like I don't know what the hell they were making of me like back then. Like I was just like I guess they were making me like a bratty little sister or whatever. But yeah, I was always quiet, and it's like one thing that you discover is like your character is really you. Like I mean, you slowly start to just come into your character because some things just don't fit you. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just like if it's suggested for you to be over the top, and you're not meant to be over the top, it's not going to come out right. You just have to be authentic to who you are. You know what I mean? And I keep bringing up Jackie, because we sound like so much alike, but like that's gonna be the challenge, is like distinctifying us, and it's distinctifying us and making it like when you see me, you know what I do. When you see her, you know what she does. And you know her personality. You know the type of stuff she says, and you know the type of stuff I say, and which is more of like what I like for my character. Like I actually have to do like studies and stuff, and like just see like I don't know. I just have to like talk like a millennial, like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to just say certain stuff. Like Jackie doesn't have to be like that because I don't know. She's Mortal Kombat. She was sort of. I want to say she was like she got further than me faster. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like she actually got used. You know what I mean? Right. Like they used her. And so so pretty much she can do what she wants. Like yeah, she like you know what I'm saying. Like she's the leader. I learn a lot from her. We learn from each other though. You know what I'm saying? You guys like have a pretty cool relationship. Yeah, like I mean, like this whole place, like it's amazing. It really really is, and they're like I said, I mean they're gonna be like doing like more behind the scenes stuff, showing like how this whole thing functions and how things work out, but it's like a school, man. I mean, it is a school, but it's like really cool. Yeah, it is unbelievable. We mirrored WWE, and we've conjured up our own PC here, and yeah, we got all these different establishments. What are you going to be doing later today? You said that you have a class. Yeah, just more of personality development and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Interview skills, like what I was saying, like about just distinctifying yourself, like you know what I mean, and like getting taglines, like coming up with taglines, like just coming up with stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like just learning how to talk and learning how to be like, just authentic, really, and just stand out. Like as soon as somebody hears your voice, they know it's you. Because XTV is so much of that. Like, and like now we're like with going live. You know what I mean? And like that would be cool, like because they got Trishelle on 2 shows, so it's like if I could be a backstage person on like XTV and do XTV stuff, like that would be so cool, and like I already be on XTV. I don't see why not, bro. Like I mean, Trishelle does a great job, but I mean, if there's room on another show, it would be cool to have you there. Yeah, but I mean, they don't want to pull the trigger on me yet. Like I haven't quite met the standards or the criteria to be, that people. But at the same time, like people have like complimented me. Like I don't know what they saw, but like people have been coming up to me saying like, yeah, good job, and they've been. My dad told me that like people have been saying stuff about me, like positive things. Like he's been hearing positive things. He said Big Trunks had gave me a compliment, like so like that makes me feel good. It's like. I feel like, we just got our parents' blessings, me and Justin, like, because, I mean, I talk to Justin about it all the time, like, it's like, damn, like, people dig us, and, like, we haven't even really scratched the surface, you know what I mean? And he feels the same way, like, he hasn't even began to, like, do all the terrible shit that he talked, oops, sorry, no, you can curse on here, bro, oh, okay, but yeah, like, all the terrible stuff, I feel bad. But anyways, because he just wants to do all kind of just messed up stuff to people, and just like he just wants to be terrible because he wants to be like this ultimate heel. His inspiration is Kevin Owens, but he's also inspired by like people like Killer, and just like people who can like just get real heat. And so like that's what he wants to do, but he wants to like do it in a like entertaining way, like what I'm saying, like he wants people to understand why he does stuff, like what I mean. So like he's like real like cerebral, like he's very calculated in how his approach is, what I mean. And so it's interesting, seeing him, and like right now, like he's with Kareem Strong, and like they're in this thing where like. It's like, okay, who's it gonna be? Like, cause it's like right now, and I don't know like how the fans see it, but I think that they're kind of both in the same place. But I think that Justin's gonna ultimately end up being the heel. You know what I'm saying? Spoiler alert. I think he's gonna be the heel. You know what I'm saying? Cause Justin's the heel right now. But like, if you watch like the way they were on the last show, like. Cause when Justin was like, oh, so the fans, if that's what the fans want, then that's what they get, like a match with us, okay. But like, cause and that's how I know that it's like a slow turn, because if it was a turn, if he had already been established as the heel, then he would have just been like, screw what the fans want, you know what I mean? Right. But like, I don't think that like that's where they're going just yet. So it's going to be a slow turn. Right, I mean, because as far as I understand, I mean, that's like a completely new story, and it's a good story to be told. It has to be executed well because they have history, so they could go back to that most definitely. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's like the long and short of everything. It's like I said, it's fun. It's like a daily grind. I love it, and yeah, it's super cool. Well, yeah, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much for, sitting up here with me, Laysha. And good luck, man, on your future endeavors. I hope that I get to have you back here. Thanks, Millenium. All right, bro. There it is. My interview, my sit-down conversation with Laysha. Like I said, man, pretty cool girl, bro. And yeah, I mean, it's just like really cool. Like Justin's kid, Justin's younger daughter. That's an interesting perspective when you think of the fact that like unlike me, she's not a gimmick. She's a real. She's like she comes from the real. Like, and she said, she has to be real. She has to be authentic. That was a challenge with Miss Martha as well. It was a challenge with Justin Jr. But it seems like the Turkey Leg family effortlessly just climbs over those hurdles. It's not a thing to them, And I really admire that. Like, they don't have a problem just being real, and I think that they pull from the real. I think that they pull from, they don't try to bullshit the people. They show you exactly what it is. They tell you why this is happening. Like the part where she brought in Jackie Briggs and she's like, "I'm Jackie, I'm Laysha." It's like, yeah, bro. I mean, you have to do that because, I mean, if you're going to be a top star, you can't sound like somebody else. And one of the most distinctive things about an XTV star, I believe, is their voice. I go through it all the time with myself and Bob. And I've never run into any issues where people think that I sound too much like Bobby. I think that, hey, Bobby, I know you're sitting out there. Come in here, bro. What's up, fellas? Yeah, see, Bobby, and we were talking about this earlier. No, we were talking about it earlier this week when we were talking about Laysha and Jackie. Yeah, about me having my voice. My voice tone is, I don't give a fuck. How they were going back and forth going, I'm Cassie, I'm Jackie. Like, my tone is, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. And I don't give a shit. See, Millenium, you're not like that, are you? No, I'm more like this. Like, I do care, bro, because I'm trying my damnedest to not sound like Bobby. So, thanks a lot, Bob. No problem. But, yeah, I got to get Bobby in here for an interview. About damn time you realize that. I'm busy, bro. Busy not doing fucking podcasts. You haven't done a podcast in like a fucking month. Calm yourself, bro. I got you. I got you. I like doing podcasts where it's you and me and B-Boy and all of them. Yeah, and then a guy's always missing. Exactly, bro. Like right now, like Foxy and B-Boy and Yaki, they're not all here, bro. So there it is, bro. As I argue with Bobby, who's always sitting outside listening to me record. I don't know how he finds himself wherever I go, but yeah, I mean, he was I guess on the other side of the door or something in the PC, listening to myself and Laysha do this podcast. Damn straight. So until next time, bro, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the New Millennium Podcast, where my next special guest, guess who's going to be? It's going to be somebody that you haven't heard from in a long time. Starboy is going to be joining me, and yeah, I think that we have some run-ins there as well. So tune in to the next New Millennium Podcast, and until then, cheers!